everybody. Welcome to today's episode of the Redox podcast. My name is Russell Mariani. I will be one of your co-hosts, and this is Mark Porteous. Say hi, Mark.
Hello, everyone. Great to be here, part of the redox podcast.
And today's special guest is Mr. Jim Glenn from San Antonio, Texas. Say howdy, Jim.
Howdy, Jim.
All right, we'll get
What
right
you told
back
me
to
to say was howdy, Jim.
He sure did. And we just assumed being a Texan that howdy was the way to go, but I love the howdy Jim.
Yeah, yeah.
So, as some of you know who've been here before, the purpose of the Redox podcast is to create interesting answers to three basic questions. And those questions are, what are redox signaling molecules? Question number two, why are they so important? And question number three, how does this redox breakthrough create transformational opportunities for wellness entrepreneurs all around the world and any entrepreneur with an open mind? And so today we have Jim Glenn from San Antonio, Texas. And Jim, tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of before ASEA, and maybe something that you would want people to know about you. And then we'll get into where were you in your life's journey when ASEA Redox crossed your path. So just tell us a little bit
Yeah,
about yourself.
sure. Again, Jim Glenn. I live in San Antonio, Texas. I got here to Texas as quickly as I could. I'm originally an Ohioan. I'm a Buckeye. I spent my youth there. I kind of grew up once I got a little bit more coordinated. And after I grew up, I grew to 6'6". My sophomore year in high school, I was 6'6" and I weighed 160 pounds. I was a bean. So my dad was an oral surgeon up in Ohio. I grew up on a horse farm. My father was the founder of the National Reining Horse Association, which is now a global operation. And so my father and stepmother started that with one of our cutting and a reining horse. And so my dad was an oral surgeon.
Jim,
And he
sorry to stop you. I've never heard that phrase, raining horse. So what is that?
uh, look it up. It's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful. If the horse, and they have their own shows. They're not part of a regular rodeo. Or if you go to where you've got a rodeo here in San Antonio, they don't do reining. They have their own shows. But it's a beautiful routine that the horses go through. And you may think of it where if you ever see the show where the horses run at a full gallop, the whole arena, then they slide.
Okay. How do you
Say
spell
that.
it? How do you spell it?
Reining, reining.
Okay. Okay.
And so my dad was an oral surgeon. And again, I was playing basketball. And originally, my dad had wanted me to follow into his practice. But again, my hands are rather large. And I said, right, Dad, see my hands in people's mouths. But I was not leaning towards science at all. I always tell folks I was a jock. My dad was the doc. My mom was an RN. I was nowhere near that. But I grew up in a divorced home. But I didn't really realize that there wasn't a lot of evil stuff going on, a lot of backbiting. I loved my stepmom; she was everything to me. But so I became a good basketball player my senior year, and then I came to Texas. My dad had bought a business down here in the Rio Grande Valley. It's about 4 hours south of San Antonio. It's right at the tip of Texas and Mexico. And so I came down here when I was 17. Worked for my dad's company. I played basketball, and I made the team at Pan American University. And that was when I first blew out my back. That was when I had my first experience with discomfort in my back. But I graduated from school. I got a job in the retail world, and then I ended up kind of flip-flopping all over the place. And then I came into brokerage. My ex-father-in-law was a stockbroker. And so at the time, he goes, "Hey, Jim, I think you would really do well with this." So I said, "Hey, I got nothing to lose. I'm not doing anything else I really like."
I don't
So
like to
that,
stick my fingers in anybody's mouth.
yeah, right. Yeah, that wasn't going to work. I barely got through college, but I did. I'm one of six kids to graduate from college. And that with my mom and dad being highly educated, you would have thought more of us would have been, but the chips didn't fall that way. But I became a stockbroker. I did well. Actually, we got your license. I spent like 3 months out in San Francisco, and I actually had a lot of, that was when San Francisco was good and healthy and nice and clean. But it was funny because in the beginning, when I got my license, we had 3 months that we had to do so much in business, and I didn't meet the nut. I didn't get there. So my boss called me and said, Jim, bye bye. I go, no, 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 no. I've got another month. He goes, no, you don't. You're gone. Bye. So I went down to the what we call the biggest broker in the office, and I cried on his shoulder. I said, "Give me another month," and he did. And he did something really unique, and it's something I talk about with our team. Is that he came out to me and said, "Okay, Jim, shut up and listen to me. I'm going to give you a stock idea, and I don't want you to question it. I just want you to go sell it. Get everybody you know to buy this stock." It was Owens Corning Fiberglass. The ticker symbol was OCF. And I trusted him, right? And I was scared. I was desperate. And in 1 month, I opened up 30 accounts. I did the amount of business that I had to do. And that set me off on my career of a 30-year career being a stockbroker. And it was good, bad, and ugly. I mean, I did well, but then in stock, when the market's not doing well, you don't do well. Well, it turned out 11 years ago, 12 years ago, I got let go. Like that job ended. And I've always had I grew up on a farm, again, the horse farm up in Ohio, and I used to love water. So I was actually making water features. You know, I was building a $20,000 koi pond. Beautiful waterfall, and then a pretty good sized pond for the fish. But my back was kind of hurting me. So it turns out over the last 30 years, I've had 10 lower back surgeries. I was addicted to pain medication. I was on one medication for 25 years. I was on 3 other ones for 7 years. I was a zombie. I would sleep almost 2 hours every day. And I couldn't function, but yet that was my life. That was my new normal. And kind of leading into how I came across this, one of my best friends, they had gone, this was 13 years ago, they had gone on a cruise. And at the time, their 18, 19-year-old son had been playing football at Baylor here in Texas, in Waco, Texas. And he got sick the first night on the ship. He contracted a viral bug. And they air vacuumed him from a little hospital in Sitka, Alaska to Seattle. He went to a teaching hospital. 40 doctors looked at him. Again, a 19-year-old kid, everything above his waist was shutting down. And that day they said he would not survive and be alive by the morning. So we are praying people. His mother is a youth pastor. She's got her doctorate in theology. My best friend's a banker. We had 44,000 people praying for him in a matter of an hour. He did not die because Chase, the young man, heard them say, "You will be dead in the morning." He didn't go to sleep. Literally. He survived, but he was still paralyzed completely above the waist, which is very unusual. And I've heard that from multiple medical people, that above the waist paralysis is very unusual. That's not very common. So they brought him back home. After another 30 days, they stabilized him enough to bring him back. They put him in a rehab clinic. And then after 30 days, they said, bye. There's nothing we can do. And they went to other medical people, and the medical people said he's got about 2 years to live. He had a feeding tube in. And Robert, this whole time I'm speaking, and when they first got Chase home, the young man, we went to go see him, and the whole Baylor football team, by the way, came down and was with him, because it was horrifying. I mean, here's a kid, 6'2", 6'3", had been in the peak of his health, and finished, on the dean's list at Baylor. Everything's going for him, and then bam, taken away. How would you feel? And to this day, he's still angry. God, why me? So Robert, the dad, went on an aggressive search. He started calling everybody he knew. He got on a fruit and vegetable product. He got on a product that had alkaline water product. He got on something else that had a lot of oils involved. And they all made their claims. My stuff will work. And what Chase did, mom and dad did as well. None of them felt anything with the other modalities. Then he called a chiropractor and said, Steve, do you know of anything? So let me make a couple phone calls. And they came across the big blue bomb. And the dad talked to Jerry White, one of the PTs, one of the medical experts we had, who since unfortunately has passed away. He goes, Jerry, look, this is the condition with my kid. Can this stuff hurt him? And will it help him? 2 questions. Well, no, can't hurt him. It's 100% non-toxic. It's native to the body, all that. Well, can it help him? I don't know. I haven't seen this kind of a case, but it can't hurt. So Chase started drinking the product. I'm not sure how much he drank. It may have been 6 to 8 ounces a day. And at that time, all we had was that in the gel. So he started applying the gel because it was back in the back of the neck. So it was his neck was like just became like that big around. And it was, it started low, but he started regaining. And it started moving its way back up. And then his neck is still somewhat compromised to this day. But it saved his life. It absolutely saved his life. And there was the one day, almost 11 years ago, coming up in a couple of weeks, where Robert gave me a call and said, Jim, I'm coming up. Okay. What are you going to talk about? I didn't even ask what you're going to talk about. I didn't care. When my best friend calls me up, I'm going to say, come on over. And he had told me that they were doing something different with Chase. And I go, and he said something about saltwater, saline. And I go, oh, God, Robert, what are you doing? I can't tell you how many times we've heard that. But when he came over here and told me this is what did it, sign me up. I don't care. I've never done this kind of stuff before. But when I heard, and I lived that story, it was personal to me. And I saw the kid. And I saw him put his arms up and over his head where he hadn't been able to move his arm an inch from his side for a full year. So, again, I'm on 500 pain pills. I'm building a water feature. My back was killing me because I'm manipulating 500 plus pound rocks. I have one other guy helping me build this water, and we did multiple, about 15 or 20 water features. And I go, I don't care what it is. And when I drank 8 ounces the first night, when I got my shipment in, then the next morning I woke up, I couldn't believe it. And this doesn't happen to many people, and I'm very reluctant to share this because people go, well, it didn't do that for me. But I will say 90% of the discomfort in my back was gone. And again, I was doing a extremely heavy workout type job by building that water feature. So it wasn't ordinary discomfort. It was like an athlete's discomfort. But the other thing that shocked me is that my brain fog cleared up day one. And I go, what the heck is this stuff? And there was one other thing, and Russell, I'm not sure if you show this, but if you show the ring finger thing, do you do that?
Muscle testing?
I haven't done that. No, please go ahead.
Talking about muscle testing.
So, yeah, it's not really muscle testing. Jerry White would call it reaction. It's core body strength, but it's not muscle testing.
Okay.
So I don't want to confuse people with muscle testing. Because I actually did this with my chiropractor a couple of months ago. So you do this, then I take one hand, put it on one finger, then I take my other hand, put it on that finger. And then, so if Russell were doing this to you, Mark, then Russell, you would say, and do you have any wrist problems? No, my wrist is fine. Then you gently pull their finger. You say, you hold it real tight, and then you pull their finger apart. Go do this with your spouse or a kid. And then take one drop, even one spray bottle, one squirt anywhere on them. Now I'll take some of the gel, I'll put it on the tip of their nose. If they're balding, sorry, Russell, but put a little bit on their forehead. Yeah. And then I redo it. I said, now hold it tight. And then I try to pull it apart. It's going to take 2 or 3 times the strength to pull that finger apart. And then we did the basket. You hold your hands like that, straight down in front of you. You stand up straight. And then you put your fingers like a basket. Or you lift me up on a horse. Then you just stand up straight. And then gently, I put my fist in their hand, gently push down. They fall into you every time. Now, if you're dealing with a gymnast or someone that's a muscle man, it may not work as well. But then do the same thing, but have them put their arms behind their back. Stand up straight. Just have your feet somewhat parted, just balance, and then gently push down. They'll fall back every time. Take your squirt bottle, 1 squirt anywhere, and redo it. You won't budge. They won't move. Now, I saw my friend do that to Ann when we first joined. It took 4 to 5 months for Chase to have a significant improvement. It took, because he had a serious spinal cord injury that they said he was going to die from within 2 years. So it's serious. So, but when my friend came over and did those 2 things, the ring finger and the basket, I said, shut the front door. I'm an ex-stockbroker. I used to do what's called IPOs, initial public offerings. And I had no idea about network marketing. So I'm going in my brain. It took 5 months for Chase to get significantly better, but I could see something within under a minute. And then we now know that if you put it here, anywhere on the body, they have significant discomfort. They will see a radical reduction in that. So, Russell, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad does your shoulder hurt? They'll tell you. Okay, try to do a movement. Ow, it hurts there. Then have them apply the Renew 28 to their shoulder. Hey, Russell, do you know a difference? Do you see anything yet? They go, no.
Yeah, it feels a little better.
Well, this is the most funny story on the planet, and I was there, so I know it's true. It was a retired pharmacist, and he was what I lovingly call a negative poo-poo head. So he was in a retirement community, and I had a woman there that was sharing a SIA. She was having great results, but he was the negative poo-poo head that was telling everyone it's just salt water. So I finally had a meeting with him. He was 85 years old on a walker. Jerry White did a quick presentation. Not me, but Jerry. He still said at the end of that, I don't believe it. I said, okay, I can show you. Do you have anything that hurts? He goes, my shoulder. I said, shake. Oh, I can't lift it any higher than that. So I took the gel, Russell, and I had him put it on his shoulder. I said, lift your arm up. He said, no. I said, humor me. He did that. But what came out of that man's mouth? I swear to goodness gracious, this is true. He goes, what'd you do to me? He goes, you hypnotized me. He refused. And I did the basket thing on him, and same thing. What did you do to me? He refused to believe. But when I saw those 2 things with my wife, I'm going immediately, oh my Lord, everybody we know needs this.
So Jim, let me stop you there, and just in lay person's language. I mean, it's amazing what you've shared. Truly helpful, amazing. Thank God Chase is doing well. Again, in simple terms, in your own language, what's happening? What's in that blue bottle? What are redox signaling molecules? And what's responsible for the kind of results that you're talking about? What's going on here?
Well, and again, I'm a man of faith. So I will say that what we have is a divine gift. It's divine. We should not have this. So what the problem is that we all have is called a lack of communication. If your cells can't communicate, like our dear friend Alan Noble says, if your cells can't communicate, little else matters. So all we're doing is when this technology touches your arm, it is immediately communicating to every cell to wake up. It's the internet system. It's the communication system between every cell. And if you can fix that, the body goes, oh my gosh, I've got some quick things that we can fix. So it's the body's the miracle. The human body is the miracle. We were made to be self-healing. And God had to choose something, and I don't think he made us from 60 to 70% saline by accident. And when I had a pharmacist that joined me down back where I went to college 6-7 years ago, and this guy had his own compounding pharmacy. He made his own stuff. And he said, Jim, stop while you're talking. I have one question for you. What's your stuff made from? And when I said, Lonnie, it's made from saline, his exact 3 words, sign me up. And then he said, with the biggest package you've got. He said, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that there has to be something about saline. So this is what I am on a quest. Our technology is made from saline. You're a medical practitioner, Russell. I'm going to walk into your office and real quick, let me ask you a quick question. Do you have anything in your office that you're recommending that is made from only 2 things, sodium chloride and water, nor commonly called saline? Do you have anything in your practice that you recommend or you personally use that's made from those 2 things and those 2 things only? And if someone is like Lonnie, he's a pharmacist, he goes, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out there has to be something about saline. He says, you guys figured it out and I need it.
So of course, it's not just saline. Saline is the medium, and floating in the saline are trillions of bioactive redox signaling molecules. So basically, what you're saying, Jim, is in every one of these situations where people have less than normal functioning, whether it's in the bones or the muscles or the internal organs, when there's less than normal functioning, there's a lack of normal communication. There's a lack of normal signaling. And redox signaling is how everything communicates inside the body. And so this is a bioreplenishment. So as you've been saying, it doesn't matter what the problem is. The problem is always the deepest problem, the most fundamental problem is always ineffective signaling, ineffective communication. And sometimes we use the analogy of the cell phone, right? This little mini computer is miraculous in what it's capable of doing as long as I have 5 bars of signal strength. But if I only have 2 or 3 bars, I might not even be able to make a phone call. And so people are walking around at 1 or 2 bars of their internal redox signaling strength, and they don't know what's wrong, and they're being given drugs, they're being given pharmaceuticals, they're put on crazy diets, they're trying all kinds of things to get better. And then, like you say, you put a little gel on the body, and suddenly all the cells wake up, they get a signal. The signaling is amplified, the signaling is clarified. So that is the breakthrough that we call ASEA redox. And let's go back to your story. And before we go back to Jim's story about your recovery from your back discomfort, Mark, do you have any questions for Jim?
I love that you use the phone analogy because earlier when Jim was talking about just putting on that spray and then all of a sudden you have these results instantly that it's like turning on the Wi-Fi. It's like literally turning the Wi-Fi on and it has the signal. And yes, regularly cleaning it. There's ways to keep the signal strong. Something else Jim said is that you were drinking 8 ounces, and there's something I learned. I'm like, wow, you only 2 a day is 4 ounces. I'm like, that's amazing that can do that. I asked Dr. Lee Osler, I think it was, that was like, well, for your size, you should probably be drinking 6 to 8. And so I upped it, and I did notice the immediate difference. Again, so it goes by body weight, but it's amazing that 8 ounces in a 260, 70 pound body knows where to go. Just like when you spray that, it turns on the Wi-Fi, these miraculous molecules know what the body needs.
And it's hard for people to accept that. It's hard for people to, it's so simple, but yet it's the most powerful, the most amazing, most powerful technology ever discovered. And I would reference it this way, Russell. Pretend you're one of my brokerage clients back when I was a broker. Pretend I called you up. I said, hey, Russell, I've got an IPO. I've got a secondary offering. I've got a company that has what we have. Just pretend. And this drug company can come out and say everything that redox does. They can say the allostatic load, the NRF2, the glutathione, every antioxidant, every cell that works on plants and animals. They could say everything about what we have. You want to buy it or not?
Definitely.
Okay. So what's going to happen to that stock when it hits the market?
You're asking the wrong person.
It's going to skyrocket. So yeah. the price, so if it came out at $50 a share, what would end up happening in the market is they would halt all trading. Halt it. Because there's an imbalance of orders. There's not enough people that would sell it. And so they stop the trading. The value goes through the roof. But what would happen to all the competition? What would happen to all the other pharmaceutical stocks if it came out with what we have? What we have is the biggest thing to ever hit the market, but it ain't an IPO. It is not an IPO. It's better than that. So you can purchase I wish it cost a lot more money, frankly, to buy our distributorships. I really do. It doesn't get people's attention. Because what you have is something no one else in the world has. We're in 36 markets now.
Globally, around the world. Yeah.
Right. So we have something no one else knows about. That what we call the market penetration is so minimal. It's probably not even 0.1%.
Yeah. So talk more about that. So obviously,
yeah, exactly. That's the same thing that's happening in my head. The doubts as a listener. Russell's been with us a lot longer, but for someone that's listening to this for the first time, two questions would pop up. One is, well, if it's so good, why aren't other people doing it? And if it's so good, why don't we all know about it yet?
And I'm going to go, it's so good, you better not miss it. Because we have all the science. The reason it's not going like that because it's not owned by a pharmaceutical. We're using what's called word of mouth. And I have a thing in my presentations that I do, so I'm sick and tired of the rich getting richer. Are you tired of the Walton family making more and more money? Every time you go to Walmart, are they making money? Yes. Every time you buy a drug, are those son of a guns making money?
Yes.
Are you tired of it yet? Do you want your shot? Because if you hear the story, if you watch the Genesis video, if you look at our founder and who he was and why he did this, if that doesn't hit you right here, it's okay. This isn't for you. It's not for everybody. Everybody needs the product, but very few will do the business. We're looking for those very few.
So it's not a pharmaceutical, so that's why it doesn't have the marketing and all of that and the awareness. But if it's a pharmaceutical, then not a pharmaceutical, why aren't pharmacies knocking it off and duplicating it? I know.
Well, yeah, right. Because I was on 500 pain pills a month. I haven't taken a pill in 11 years. I was taking 500 pills. And when I went to my pain doc, and he was the one that got me on the additional medications for the nerve damage in my left leg. 3 medications for that alone. I don't know how he's making his money, but I know the pharmaceuticals were getting rich. In my brain, one of the medications, if you get off of it, you have tendencies to want to commit suicide. Yeah. These medications are horrifying, what people are doing. And then you mix them up. You've got all these toxic mixtures of this and that. I mean, I've seen people with 10 or 15 different medications. And people are used. That's all. My dad was a doctor. When I was a kid, I'm 68 years young. When we're 4 siblings in total. When one of us got sick, you're not going to believe what our parents did. They put us all in the same room. How horrifying is that today? We all got sick at the same time. We all got through it together. Boom, we're good. We're ready to rock and roll. But then also my family doctor would come to our house and see us. We don't do that stuff anymore. They have so many different specialties. I don't know how many specialties there are, but it's crazy. There's one doctor that knows how to fix you. It's in you. The miracle is the body. The miracle is the human body. God made it to be self-healing. Where you are with your faith, that's up to you. But I know that God did not make a mistake. He had to make it before day 3, because day 3 is when he made the plants. Molecules are in plants. These molecules are in animals. These molecules are in humans. You can't live without these molecules. And the fact that so I work with a billionaire. His family are billionaires. And he said, Jim, just tell me what to take. 16 ounces a day and a bunch of the gel and a bunch of the gold. I go, I know you don't need any more money, Douglas. He goes, no, but I know you know people that do. And it's not your right to keep this from them. They need the technology, but you know other people that need the opportunity. I said, hey, could tell me what, Douglas? Come up with a better idea. Now, he just had a horse win the Kentucky Oaks race a couple of weeks ago, right before the Kentucky Derby on Friday night. His horse won it. He was on national TV. So I said, tell me something, Douglas. You buy $1 million horses. Oh, I'm trying to get him to give our product to the horses too, by the way. I'm working with him on that.
We did talk to a specialist that you probably know, Beth, all about horses on one of the other episodes.
Oh, yeah. So I asked him, I said, you're a businessman. Yeah. Come up with a bigger idea than what I'm presenting right now. That we have a technology that works on everything alive. It's non-toxic, native, can't hurt anything. It frankly works on everything. Could you come up with anything bigger than what we're presenting right now? Anything. AI? To me, AI doesn't touch what we have. No, you can't come up with anything. I mean, we're in the beauty, the athletic, the youthing. We're in all these markets that the people are concerned about, especially us baby boomers, right, Russell? And we want to live younger, longer, stronger, harder. We want to keep going and going and going. We don't want to stop. But it's also the younger people. There's so many younger people and children that are having health issues. But at the end of the day, I had a dear friend of mine, Dr. Maureen Hayes, 10 years ago. Jim, do you want to know the secret to keeping people on the product? Heck yeah. Get them making an income. We have to get the people taking the product. If you get them making an income, which is going to benefit them, but if they're not making an income, there's a decent chance they'll get off. But if they're making some income, so Mark, my goal is to get you as a new partner of mine. Mark, I know you know this is real. Once you're really comfortable with that, what I'm going to want you to do is I'm going to do a private meeting with just you and your family and friends. And I'm going to do a basic presentation right here, just like we're doing right now. And we're going to introduce this to people you know, love, and care about, because you do not have the right to keep this from anybody. Everybody deserves to hear about it. It's not up to me to say, well, I don't like Russell. But you know, Mark, I'll share it with you. So our opinion, everybody deserves to hear about it. I don't have the right. So, hey, who do you know that's open-minded to making some additional income? I approach it with the income first. Who do you know that's open-minded to making some side gig income? Know anybody? With a health and wellness breakthrough that no one else in the world has. And I go up to people I don't know, and the first trick, smile. How are you? If they respond back, I go, hey, you're a friendly guy. You passed my friendly test. And can I ask you a question, sir? Sure. I mean, I've never had anybody say no. And this is how we go out and talk to people, because they all deserve, and we got our biggest relationship from a waiter at a restaurant, Donalyn Dominguez, Business Builder of the Year, 74, 75 years old. She hated networking. I don't want to have anything to do with it. She had a stage 4 problem. She was a midwife. No, I'm not doing networking. No, you're not going to talk to my girls. She got her health back, got her attention. She became the Business Builder of the Year globally. I think, what was that, Russell, 3 years ago?
Yeah, 3 or 4 years ago.
I love how that works
And
too,
Jim,
though,
that
getting the results. You're talking about it when you go for the money. With the thing is, if you help people make money at it, you're helping them help the people they love get healthy too, helping them
Exactly.
the peak performance, all the other things. So it's this
Exactly. And
really,
it's a beautiful cycle.
yeah.
And
yeah, and
I
I think it's really important to point out that the genesis of the company, this company would not exist if not for the health benefits that a very small group of people were experiencing. Because as you know, Jim, Vertus and Tyler uh, initially did this as a business move. They bought a technology, they wanted to bring it to the next step, and then they were gonna sell it, like many business people do.
can I
And
back up a step?
please go ahead.
So the way I've heard it is one guy, one person had an experience in the beginning. It was Vertus Norton. Tyler was making fun of his dad.
That's true.
He called,
That's true.
he called him the crazy guy from Back to the Future. Dad, because he had a global reputation, second to Steve Jobs, as being the most prolific global strategist on the planet. Dad, what are you doing? You're going to destroy your reputation. But one guy in the beginning, he felt it. He had an experience. And because of him, one person having an experience and him being able to read the patents and read the research, right, that other company had, he knew. But it took, I can't fathom what it took for him to take this to the next level. It was unbelievable. The story, watch the Genesis video. I love it. My favorite video.
Yeah, I was bringing it. You brought up Donalyn, and of course, in ASEA, there are many examples of people, yourself included, who had no experience in network marketing, but learned about the technology, most likely had a very powerful experience themselves, and out of that sense of, again, what you shared earlier, everyone deserves to learn about this. I don't get to pick and choose. I'm going to invite everyone to say, hey, do you know this exists? Would you like to learn about something that has the ability to turn on the communication inside your body and help your body to heal itself, which is what it's genetically programmed to do? Are you interested in learning about that? And out of that impulse, out of that desire to help other people by educating other people, this company has grown to 36 countries around the world, and many people have become financially free, financially secure, financially independent. And I think that's something that everyone needs to learn,
Mm.
right?
I think that was something that I found fascinating when Jim was saying, once you understand what it's capable of, once you realize really what it is possible that it can do, it's really our obligation to share it with as many people as possible. And you said, I can't say, oh, I like you, I'll give it to you. I don't like you, I'll give it to you. But what most people do is like, I'll give it to all the people I don't know first. Because I don't know if I want to sell it to the people that I like. Because what if they don't like it? Or what if they say, and so we're already prejudging what somebody else might think instead of saying, I know what this can do, and I know it can do for you, because that's how it was for me and my mother. Like I didn't want to try to be selling something to my mom, but I knew that it could help her, and I felt like how awful it would be to not let her have that choice.
And based on what you just said, Mark, is that we all have our experiences of our life. And we were taught how to react to someone that we perceive they're trying to sell us something. And typically the walls go up immediately. But I'm going to go, Mark, look, I've come across something gigantic. Whatever you choose to do with it, that's on you. But I can't, because you're a friend of mine, I cannot let you go until I know you know what we have. Once you know what it is and you watch one of my videos or you watch a Zoom or you do this or you come to one of our gatherings, I'm not going to let you go because I care too much. And I'm also highly rebelling a little bit against AI. When I read yesterday, Mark Zuckerberg did a $140 billion investment into AI. To fund that, he's letting 8,000 people go. Where are they going to go? What are all these people that, because as far as a stockbroker, a real estate agent, you name it, do we really need them anymore? Can you not do a lot of that right here on your computer? I mean, you don't need a lot of these people, but where are they going to go? I mean, think about it. I mean, Terry Latham's son just graduated from A&M with an engineering degree. Well, they've got computers that can do all of that now. Why do you need an added layer of expense? And if you own the company, if you are a publicly traded company, you have to look at AI because you have to cut expenses. You have to get lean and mean. You know, you can't have all the, it's not, and big companies, this is maybe a shocker, they don't care about people. They do not care.
Well, they do
Yeah,
have to
so
care about
look-
their investors. They have a responsibility to their investors to make a profit.
Yeah, they have a legal responsibility. They could be fired. The owner of the company could be literally let go. And that was the first question, by the way, I asked our founder. And it may not mean a lot to other people what it did to me. Will you ever go public, Mr. Norton? He said no. We'll never go public. Because when you go public, everything, all the rules change. Their ownership, their loyalty is to the shareholders, not to the people. And this company values us. We are this company. And they respect us and they love us and they treat us that way. You're not going to find that in too many other companies. Not with tagged along with this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Big deal. This is the biggest deal you will ever see. And even if it's not for you, that's okay. Once you watch the video, you come to my meeting, and I'm all about people, guys, because right now, I don't know, and I've heard that maybe, is there a way that, Mark, you could be AI generated? Do they have the technology yet to do that?
All three of us could be AI generated right now. Absolutely.
Could we?
Oh, yeah. We can take this recording and we can make 5 or 6 other recordings of different topics that you are not in at all. And we could just replace you with AI today.
Okay. And this is why I am doing things with my phone, because I don't know if they can talk to an AI generated person. Maybe they can. I don't know. But I'm all about gathering people together.
Well, we can test. Whenever you're having a conversation, you just say, hey, raise your right hand. And if they're not doing that, just so everybody's clear, we're not AI. We're really here having a real conversation.
Russell, raise your right hand.
I think the point is that one of the antidotes to AI is human touch.
Exactly.
And human relationships.
But also one of the antidotes to the bigger problem that we're going to see here in the United States and in the rest of the world is a job displacement. There's just no way around the fact that if you don't have another way of creating an income that somebody else doesn't control, you're probably going to be hurting in the next few years.
Yeah, so that opens up this opportunity even more. So it's true that the world is in crisis right now on many, many levels, and AI is just one of those. But like every crisis, including a personal health crisis, there's also opportunity at the same time.
The whole Chinese symbol thing, where the Chinese symbol for crisis is opportunity, or crisis and opportunity is the challenge.
Okay, but here's something I challenge Alan Noble with this. He says with every major breakthrough comes opportunity. That's not true. Because our founder could have done something different with this opportunity. But you tell me, guys, anybody listening, Go find me another massive breakthrough like what we're presenting that hasn't been copied yet. You want to know
Yeah,
why?
good
Because
point.
it's divine. No one's copied it. Now, I had a doctor at a meeting, an MD, anesthesiologist, and a pain doctor, said, well, let me see that bottle. Wait a minute. You're adding something to it. There's no way this is salt and water. He said, all you're doing is you're diluting the saline by a tenth. And that's how you're doing this. I said, really? I said, go home and make your batch. He said, I'm going to. Then drink it and put it in your eyes. Double dog dare you. I said, if that were the case, we would have so many people copycatting what we have.
Right, exactly.
No one. So,
And no one after 16 years, you would think, okay, reasonable to expect that it would take a little while for
right.
brilliant scientists to figure this out. I mean, a core group of scientists at ASEA 16, 17 years ago figured it out. How come no one else has figured it out? So
Well,
that,
Jim gave us the answer because the only people that have enough money to figure it out don't want anybody to know about it.
Well, the reason they won't, and I'm not going to tell the story, but Jerry White heard this from Vertus Norton. It was divine. It was an accident. And I've talked to Gary Samuels. I'm sure you have too, Russell. He flat out said, guys, it wasn't me. This was the hand of God that came down. That's why we don't have any competition yet. Because that was very puzzling to me. Because what was the last major discovery? Do we know? I mean, what was the phone?
AI.
Yeah. But how many people play that market?
So it is important, Jim. So it's important for people who are hearing this maybe for the first time. You know, everyone acknowledges almost every major scientific discovery or breakthrough. There's always that little bit of divine intervention. There's always some, divine accident that happens. I remember talking to Gary Samuelson, and he said partly what happened on the day we made the breakthrough was the process that we had been taking, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, accidentally got reversed. And we went, G, F, G, C, D, B, A. And suddenly we had these bioactive molecules. Now I'm grossly oversimplifying. So, right. But in other words, there was some cosmic accident. There was some divine intervention here. But to be able to recreate in a bottle, in a saline solution, bioactive redox molecules, that's science. There is a formula. We have this patented process. No one else has been able to figure it out. That's true. And I believe, like many other people believe, that this was, given to us. I mean, I heard Vertus Norton tell the story. I mean, part of the reason that he didn't sell it was not just his compassion for other people, but he felt touched on the shoulder by God to be responsible for this technology, to bring it to the world in a particular way. And I think that also influences our ethos. We have a certain culture here in this company. We have a certain culture, a certain ethical standard that we all try to live by, and that is partly what makes us unique and special. And we all have to get better at inviting more and more people to consider this. And your contribution today, Jim, has been absolutely fantastic. And we probably have to wrap this up. We're probably getting to the end of our little time frame here. Mark, do you have any other questions or comments or observations? And then we're going to throw it back to you, Jim, for some last words. But go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, just something that Jim had said about like once somebody, what's the first thing that they do? And you send them to go look at some of the videos, watch what they're doing, come to some of the calls. What would you say, Jim, is the first thing that most people can do to really understand what's possible? When you say watch the video, is there the particular one that you're talking about?
Well, I watched the 11-minute on realredoxresults.com. the 11-minute, and then the Genesis video.
Yeah.
And then, quite frankly, get on the product. Stay
Yeah,
on it.
it sounds to me like what you were describing earlier, Jim, is once people have a sense of it from watching a video, and the 11-minute video we also refer to as the overview presentation by Alan Noble on realredoxresults.com. But I've been to many of these meetings with Dr. David Silverman, giving people a direct experience of the molecules, as you described earlier in the conversation, is also a very important, significant way to help people bypass their mind that's saying, no, 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 it's not possible. When you have an actual experience, it hopefully opens up your mind.
Well,
So
and
when
there's
you say
two.
have an experience, I'm going to have an experience right now, a shot of good health to both of you.
Yeah, I took mine a little while ago, actually. And there's two schools of thought there, Russell, is
Yeah.
one you just stated is what the majority of people do. But I'm always concerned that if their discomfort goes away today, and then tomorrow it doesn't go away with our gel or whatever, a lot of people are going to go, well, it didn't work on me. I tried it. Now, Alan Noble has what I believe to be a very realistic thing is pretend I come up a whole separate, and he may share this when he's with you, but I think it's that important to share this because I had him reshare this to me a couple of months ago that, okay, Jim, we've got to get people away from having an experience. So I'm going to say, Mark, I've got another opportunity, nothing to do with the CF. And my company has come up with a cure for all cancer. Again, I'm not talking to CF. Yeah. We have scientific studies. We've got testimonials, anecdotal testimonials. We got it all. Mark, are you telling me then, because you told me you want to try it, are you telling me you're going to have to go get cancer to validate that what I have is true? Can't you use all the testimonials? Can't you use our current scientific evidence that validates what we're doing? Or do you have to go get cancer? Well, no, that's silly. We have the same thing here. We're not curing anything. We're not diagnosed, treat, curing anything. But we are telling you that we have scientific validation for what this is doing to the human body. If you really want to know that it's real, you can get a tube of the gel, the Renew 28 gel, and go sample it on 10 people. And 9 out of the 10 that have discomfort, what Russell's showing, 9 out of 10, if not all of them, are going to say they had a radical reduction in their discomfort or it went completely away. Now, some others, Alan Noble is going to say, don't do that. What we have is real. Here are the testimonials. These are real people, real stories. And there's a lot of stories of people regathering like we did, our financial dignity. Because when men don't have that, when women don't have it, when you got so many single moms and so many young families that are struggling, we owe it to them to share the opportunity. If you're open-minded to something that is so big, if I frankly told you what we had, Mark, you wouldn't believe it. But it is that big, and you know what? It's bigger than that. But if I don't want to scare you off, but I got one little video, 6-minute video. Would you watch it? Would you watch it for me? 6 minutes. If you watch it now, I can drop it to you right now. It's called redoxlife.com. Redoxlife.com, 6 minutes. And there's 5 testimonials in there of what this has done for people. Would you watch it if I sent it? Not everyone's ready for this, y'all. Breaks my heart. I've had too many people pass away that I shared this with, and they said no. That's on them. It's not on me. But if I don't share it, it's on me. So we have a debt to humanity to share this. And being a little bit older in our time here on this planet, everybody needs something to do. You need something bigger than you. You need a reason to get up if you're retired. If you're just living on Social Security, that's a sad existence. What if you can make another $500 a month? Would you? Would you look at it? And we've got stuff now that we can show them that are like, oh my gosh. But all you got to do is what? Talk to people. That's all we do. So with that, by the way, you know why I wear these, Russell?
No, I hadn't seen those before.
Our founder said that if you make money, what are you supposed to do with it, Russell? Make memories.
Make memories, indeed.
Those are all memories.
Are
of our
those
trip. Scotland,
bracelets from different locations?
Yeah, it's my memories. I keep it right there.
Yeah, beautiful.
Because we almost went bankrupt 11 years ago. We almost lost everything. When my best friend approached me, he gave me he gave me the opportunity to regain my financial dignity. He didn't hand it to me. We had to work. We did not do well in the beginning. It was not easy. I'm not looking for easy. The easy button is broken. It doesn't. The magic wand doesn't work. You got to work. If you're open to that and you're coachable and you can invite people to watch a video or come to a gathering, you can do this. So with that, Russell, thank you.
Jim, thank you so much. Mark, any parting words for?
I love that Jim had the approach around the money first. The wellness we all know is there, because it's so sad that I see this all the time. People invest in how to make more money more than they'll invest in their own health. So I know that there's so many people who are like, oh, I don't really need that. It's not that bad. But I know a whole bunch of people who know that they could use more money, more income, and what that will do for the impact. So Jim, I really appreciate the message that you've shared and just everything you're doing.
Mark, with my background as a stockbroker, the majority of people will not be completely honest. Well, how are you doing, Mark? Oh, I'm great. Getting ready to lose my house, but hey, I'm doing wonderful. The majority of people are not going to come out or you know what my retirement plan was? Me. My retirement plan was me. My ability to work. And when I learned leverage, when I learned the micro franchising, which is what we're doing, allowing people to be their own franchise or not the franchisee, and applying leverage, which is creating global teams. So we've got thousands of people that are working with us that we don't even know, and we're making a little bit off of what they do. That's the key. Leverage. Global, 24/7, residual leverage with a product that everybody, once they know what it is, they'll never get off. Because I've got a picture of a lady, I've got her before and after 4 weeks. And I said, hey, Josie, in El Paso, Texas, will you ever go off this stuff? And she goes, Jim, are you stupid or what? If I get off, I know where I'm going. I'm going back to what I looked like 4 weeks ago. It's just 4 weeks. So those kind of pictures speak thousands of words. Hey, do you know anybody that would want this before and after?
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jim.
All right.
Vanity. All right.
Yeah, it's a fantastic session today, Jim. Thank you so much.
You bet.
So thank you, everyone out there who's listening and watching to our podcast. Appreciate your time, giving this your consideration. Thank you so much for listening. On behalf of our guest, Jim Glenn, on behalf of our co-host, Mark Porteous, my name is Russell Mariani. Thank you so much, and bye for now.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for spending time with us today on the Redox podcast. We hope you found it interesting and inspiring. We invite you to take action today. Please reach out to the person who invited you to this podcast. And if that person was Mark or Russell, please reach out to either of us using the links in the show notes below. We look forward to connecting with you soon.